Fearless leader. You're also going to get to hear from somebody who is one of our support group facilitators, but also he's a participant as well. So that's going to be, very interesting to get to hear his take from all sorts of aspects of, what CSC has to offer. And then you'll get to hear from Kristen as well, because of course we have this event going on because of CV Giving Day. So Kristen will kind of let you know what that's all about as well if you're not very familiar with CV Giving Day. So I will go ahead and get things started. I want to introduce our fearless leader, Julia Forth. If you wouldn't mind giving us a little bit of an organizational overview for folks.
Sure, absolutely. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. As Liliana said, I'm Julia Forth. I'm the CEO at Cancer Support Community. And we well, thank you, Kelsey. Somebody's clapping for me there. Hi, Kelsey. Anyway, we provide free of charge services to cancer patients and their families, including children. So, children with cancer or who are impacted by cancer in the family. And those services are what is known in the business as psychosocial support, which is also emotional, psychological support. And it includes support groups, counseling, education, classes like yoga, tai chi, qigong, meditation, mindfulness, anything to help with the stress and anxiety of a cancer diagnosis. For family members or loved ones, as well as the patients. Everything that we do is for both, and also child, teen, and family programs and social activities. So we were founded in 1982 by Dr. Benjamin and his wife Harriet Benjamin. She was the inspiration for the founding of the organization. She had breast cancer in the 70s, and at that time it was the big C, and nobody talked about it. And she really wanted to talk about it, and so Dr. Benjamin and she opened the organization in 1982, and it was really the first of its kind to posit that we are more than just our bodies, but also our hearts and our minds and our spirits. And also that cancer is not something that just affects the patient, but it affects the entire family, friends, community, workplaces. And because of that, we really influenced the cancer care healthcare system, as well as the healthcare system in general. Um, these days, it can still be a stigma depending upon the person, but we've come a long way. And I've been with the organization for 30 years, so I work closely with our founders. And for those of you who have been around for a while, we were founded as the wellness community. And it was in 2010 that we joined with Gilda's Club to create the cancer support community. So Gilda's Club kept their branding. And so you'll go to Chicago, for instance, you'll see a Gilda's Club there, but it's part of the cancer support community. So we're the same organization as we were back in 1982. And for those of you who remember Gilda Radner, who had ovarian cancer in the 80s, she came to our organization, and we are the founding organization of what is now I think more than 200 locations, hospital partnerships, and satellites. And we're still doing the great work that the Benjamins asked for us to do back in 1982. And I'm here for the whole time, so I'm sure there's questions about that. But that's us in a nutshell. And Liliana, I don't know if you want me to keep talking as to why we're in the Coachella Valley at this point in time, or pass it on to someone else. What would you prefer?
Sure, yeah, if you wouldn't
Yeah.
mind, kind of like how we got started and yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, so it's been a while, but there was a Gilda's Club in the Springs area. And I'm so sorry, I can't remember when it closed down, but it did close down. And so during COVID, um, we noticed, because we put all of our programming at that time, 100% of it was online, of course. And we started to notice that we were having more and more people from the Coachella Valley and Palm Springs area sign up for our newsletter. I think it was about 200 or so people. And so that said to us that there was an interest and a need for our services. So, as COVID, changed a bit, and we started to open our doors to in-person programming, we reached out to our headquarters. We used to be headquarters way back in the day, but now our headquarters is based in Washington, D.C. And said, we'd like to serve Coachella Valley and Palm Springs and see what the need is there because we're having all these people sign up. And of course, because things are online, it's easy to get to our programming wherever you are in the state of California and indeed in the country. So that's what we decided to do. And Liliana is out there as our expansion manager to see again what the need is, to see what we can do. We have a couple of things going on that I'll let her talk about. But that's how this all got started. And we really welcome feedback and information about the community, what is needed. Liliana is out there gathering information. But I should also say that our programming here continues online. So we still have about 90% of our programming online. And our numbers are growing year over year. Every year, our numbers are growing because we are here in Los Angeles. Um, People can get to us easier online. And people in the Los Angeles area, at least, either they're sick or they're caring for someone who is ill and they don't want to get in Los Angeles traffic. It's very difficult. Palm Springs, of course, we recognize is a little bit different. Coachella Valley is a little bit different. So that's one of the things that we're figuring out. What's going to be in person, what can remain online. But, currently anybody in Palm Springs can certainly access all of our programming. So I think that I'll stop there as the snapshot, if that's okay, and then we can maybe move on to your next topic, Liliana.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Julia. That's
Sure.
amazing. Yeah. So I just want to kind of go over again a little bit what Julia mentioned. So we really want people to know that we go off of five amazing pillars, and that's the support that we bring to you. So the five pillars that we have for you are those support groups and counseling. It's the educational workshops. We have healthy lifestyle classes. We have some great social events. And then there's also the child, teen, and family programs. So that's all part of what we have to offer. Like Julia mentioned, a lot of it, the majority of it is online. And it has grown. Even out here, I find that folks, they do want things a little bit more in person, I think in the Valley, a bit more so than maybe in the Los Angeles area. But I also hear from participants that they love having this amazing calendar of all sorts of events happening that they can access virtually. So if you're on the go, if you're not at home, whatever it is, you have access to all of that. So I hope that you do check us out. I'll give you more info toward the end, but um, again, we serve everybody who's impacted by cancer, and I know Julia mentioned this. So sometimes folks think that you have to be the patient, right? But you maybe you're the survivor, maybe you're the loved one of somebody with cancer, maybe you're their caregiver. And so we want to be there for everybody who is impacted, and there is something there for everybody. We have so many different types of support groups. We have support groups for, like, let's say, people of color, maybe LGBTQ plus communities. Maybe there's a breast cancer specific support groups, different types of support groups so that you can kind of feel that you can look around and see, okay, I think I would feel more comfortable in this support group and go ahead and try that out, right? We have so many amazing healthy lifestyle classes. I've seen things from simple makeup classes and things that are safe for you to use, like oncologist approved products, to like a chair yoga, right? Or stretching. So there really is something for everybody. So I hope that you do take the time to, check out what we've got to offer. And I think that you will be very pleasantly surprised at how much we have to offer and how much you'll probably want to sign up for yourself. So yeah, the best way to access our services would be to go online to our website. So you would go to cancersupportcoachellavalley.org, and on there you can go ahead and sign up to be a participant. or you can reach out to me directly and I can guide you along through all of the steps. And it's really just 2 steps. You just fill out an intake form, a consent form, and you're all set. You're welcome to start looking at the calendar and signing up for things. So we make it very easy for you. But again, if you do want me to assist you in that, I am more than happy to do so. And then also, I want to make sure that you know that you can reach out to me via email or via phone. And I'll put my information in the chat momentarily, but I know that not everybody wants to communicate maybe by phone or maybe by email. So please keep that in mind too, that I'm more than happy to kind of meet you where you are and go about it that way. So I don't want to keep you too long from listening to I like to call him the crowd favorite because he truly has such a way with words and he has such an amazing story to share. So I will go ahead and now turn it over to Bill Kavanaugh so he can share a little bit about his experience with cancer support community.
Thank you, Liliana. And you and Julia are both such amazing speakers to represent our organization. Thank you so much for how you explain it all. Both amazing. So I will just start with my cancer journey started on Christmas Eve 2007 when the doctor at Cedars-Sinai told me that I had stage 4 cancer and may not survive. And the first thing that I said to him was, I'm so sorry I didn't get you anything for Christmas. And then the second thing that I said was, if I have learned anything in life, it's that our greatest challenges become our greatest rewards. And I can't wait to see what the rewards are from this. And I'll never forget that the doctor started crying. And he said, I've never had anyone tell me that on the day of diagnosis, but so many people discovered that at the end. And little did I know that many years later, I would publish a book on that topic. It's titled Keep Your Fork, Something Sweet is Coming. But it's exactly what I said to that doctor just spontaneously that day, that the rewards will come if we look for them. So the next year was a very long year of chemo and radiation, but it was also, believe it or not, the happiest year of my life. I had I had family and friends come from everywhere to help me and to take me to the chemotherapy treatments and to stay with me. And if they took me to chemo, they had to wear a costume and perform for the nurses. And so I decided I was going to make this journey fun. Not everybody's allowed to laugh at their cancer if they don't want to, or doesn't have to laugh at their cancer, but I was going to laugh at it. I also did a blog called Lymph Notes that I did for that whole year. And I was determined to make this a happy journey for everybody. And I have some of the greatest photos of people in those costumes, and it was just a great year. But at the same time, I also discovered cancer support community. And I was able to join a support group where I didn't have to put on that front and I didn't have to show that everything was happy. And it was so nice to have that balance, to have a group of people who understood, yes, you don't want to hurt your caregivers and you don't want to hurt your family, but at the same time, they need to find their own help and we need to find our own help. And that was the beauty of having caregiver groups next door to the patient groups at Cancer Support, because they were completely different groups. And they were both so very, very necessary. Well, about a year and a half after I was finally told that the cancer was gone, that I was going to be fine. And I remember the doctor saying, you can get back with your life now. I'd always been in entertainment, and he said, you can get back to producing again. And I remember thinking, it's like telling Jackie Kennedy to clean the blood out of her dress and get back in the parade. The parade is gone. Life is different. And I have learned so much this year. And I went through a very, very, very sad period of trying to decide What now? Why did this happen? And most importantly, why did I live? And I'll never forget the night that I drove to the beach, just sobbing. And I called my sister in Pittsburgh, who's a therapist. And she said, Bill, you've told me all the beautiful things that you've learned at Cancer Support Community. I think you need to become one of their facilitators and start leading those groups so that you can help people the way they helped you. And the very next day, I contacted Antioch University and at 55 went back to school to get my master's degree. And after I got the degree, Cancer Support Community was so kind to allow me to be full-time program manager and get my hours while I was working at Cancer Support Community. And I absolutely know that the greatest way to help ourselves is to help others. And that sounds so simple, but that's what our organization is about, is whether we're a facilitator or a group member, we're there to help each other. And helping someone doesn't mean you find their solutions for them because everybody's cancer is different. It's there to be there and to listen. And of all the groups that I have led at Cancer Support, the one that I remember the most was it was part of a research study with the University of Michigan for couples where one of the couples was at end of life. And so we sat in this room so often in silence and tears with these couples that were dealing with end of life. And there was a young woman, 40 years old, I believe, who told us in the group one day that she had been told the day before that she had about 2 or 3 days left. And she said, I'm going to put a song on the sound system. And we put on her favorite song. And she said, would everyone, oh, would everyone get up and dance with me to my favorite song? And the song was I Love My Life. It was a reggae song, which I play it so many times for her. We all danced and cried and hugged her and said goodbye. And that's what a support group is all about. And right then, I knew that this organization that I belong to is one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give people. And oh, again, why am I here and she's not? I have no idea. But I can tell you that cancer did end up becoming one of the greatest gifts of my life. And I'm so happy that I can share it with others and that I can facilitate the groups that I do at Cancer Support and listen and cry and more than anything, laugh. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you for sharing. We really appreciate it. So, as you can see, Cancer Support Community, we're really here to build community, to invite you into our community because community really is stronger than cancer, and we could all use community. On the topic of support groups, as far as the Coachella Valley goes, we do have two support groups that are in person for folks that want to join something that's in person. One of those is our breast cancer support group, and we have that in partnership with the Jocelyn Center, which is the senior center here in Palm Desert. And then we also have a Spanish language support group. It's called Grupo Fortaleza, and that one is in partnership with Eisenhower. So, if there is something, if we see a need for something, and that's something that kind of came up when we were creating the Spanish language support group, Grupo Fortaleza, is we saw that there was a need for a Spanish language support group out here for folks. And we found out at Eisenhower that there had been one before many years ago, and then it kind of dissolved, and folks were kind of wondering, can we have that back? Because it really made such an impact for them to have this group. to go to feel that they had community and that they had a space and a very safe space to go to and express themselves and, just kind of form these amazing bonds. And so, we heard what folks wanted, and we were able to form that group, and it's growing every time, every session. I kind of see like one more person added on. So please, if you do have something that you're looking for that's specific, and if you don't see it, let me know. Shoot me an email, give me a call. I'd love to know what it is that you're kind of searching for. And if there's several people searching for the same thing, then I'm sure that we can put something together for you. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, during the winter, we did have some amazing in-person healthy lifestyle classes. We were doing some amazing Iyengar yoga. That was also a collaboration that we did in Palm Desert. And we're currently in the works of figuring out what other healthy lifestyle classes we can bring that are going to be in person. And then a heads up, something to look forward to. We are going to be having a wellness day coming up very soon. So I do hope that you check out our website. Please sign up for our newsletter anytime we have anything happening. That's usually the way that we inform you is we send you a great email with all the great headlines and flyers that you want to be aware about. But also checking periodically on our website and checking out the calendar. Maybe today it's Tuesday and you don't have anything for the evening, right? So maybe you want to look and see if there's a nice healthy lifestyle class to kind of wind down, right before you call it a night. So just wanted to let you know that. Julie, I see that your hand is up. Would you like to chime in with me here?
Oh, sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
Oh,
but
no.
I just wanted to mention when Bill Kavanaugh says that he is a facilitator in our language, Bill is a licensed psychotherapist. So, Bill, you're an MFT, right? A marriage and family therapist.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, yes. So I just wanted to mention that all of our groups are run by licensed psychotherapists. And also just to mention that Bill lives in Palm Springs. And so he's also got his ear to the ground in terms of what is needed. And as Liliana was saying, we're looking to see what other things we can bring in person. Of course, Bill, you're leading a group online. But we do have a few therapists out there and classes coming up. So that's all. I just wanted to chime in on that. Sometimes, we call our therapists facilitators, but they are licensed.
Yes, absolutely. We have amazing facilitators for all of our groups. Any group that you join, I think you will just absolutely love it because our facilitators they really know how to connect with you. We're so, I think, fortunate at Cancer Support Community that we have the most amazing facilitators, just like Bill, who connect with the participants and who make you feel safe and heard and part of a community. So I think that that's extremely important for anybody impacted by cancer. So I hope that you will look into us a little further. I know Kelsey has been putting in our information in the chat. So please take down that information, my email, my phone numbers on there, our website, how to sign up for our newsletter. We're making it real easy for you. And we also are on social media as well. If you're on Instagram, you can find us Cancer Support Community or Cancer Support Coachella. But I'm sure that Kelsey will drop all that in there for you. So please make sure that you connect with us so you can stay in the know, sign up as a participant, and join a support group, join a class, whatever kind of feels right for you at the moment. But please join our community. We would totally love to have you. And now I want to go ahead and go into the Q&A portion. I know we had, I think, a few folks commenting on there, so I'll check the chat. But does anybody have any questions that you want to ask any one of us? If not, I can start getting some prompts that I prepared for us. Please don't be shy. Feel free to unmute.
I can
Okay.
just kind of add on to the question that was asked in the chat about sound baths and just say we are actively looking into different people to do sound baths and yoga and Tai Chi and those types of classes in person in the Palm Springs and Coachella Valley area. If you know of any people who might want to volunteer to facilitate any of those, we're taking recommendations too. But in the meantime, yes, feel free to join those online until we get them up and running out there.
Yes, thanks, Sigal. And yeah, that's sound bath. I'm glad that came up because that is actually something that I'm currently actively working on to bring to our community as an in-person offering as well. So if you're interested in that, please make sure that you are indeed signing up to find out more because I think you'll probably be seeing something soon, fingers crossed. Any other questions that we can answer? Anything that kind of sparks your interest that you want to know a little bit more about? Okay, I will go ahead and Bill, if you don't mind me kind of throwing a question at you. What do you think that people often misunderstand about support groups? Like maybe why would you say that folks, when they finally come in, why do they say that they were maybe hesitant initially about joining a support group?
I'm so happy you asked that because I remember when I used to lead the uh, for newcomers and tell them about the programs. It is so common for most men to say, I'm not really a group person. And it's kind of like saying, I'm not a people person. The group is not what you think it is. It's not something where you have to just dive in and reveal your soul or anything. As I mentioned before, it's about helping others too. It's just listening sometimes. But the support group can help people in so many different ways that you would never have expected. And it might be just laughing. The group that I run, they laugh constantly. And I think that that's one of the things that keeps people coming back is it brings joy. But every group that I have ever run at Cancer Support, they end up being a team of really good friends and they all get together and have breakfast and lunch. And a lot of the groups that I ran a few years ago, they're still getting together and having coffee and lunch and meetings and things. They get together at each other's homes. So it's a way to make friends and friends that understand.
So thank you, Bill. Uh, Julia, I'd like to ask a little bit more about why expanding to the Coachella Valley was so important. So I know that you mentioned a little bit about how we kind of got started, but why was it important that we actually kind of branch out specifically to the Coachella Valley?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Well, COVID changed everything and all kinds of possibilities opened up for us because we were online and there was so much more access to what we do. And because also there had been a Gilda's Club in the past there. And we really wanted to take advantage of the fact that our services were online. People were signing up for the newsletter, and we just wanted to continue to get the word out to anybody who might not have support. One of the things that Dr. Benjamin talked about way back when in 1982, when he founded the organization, was, and he knew this from personal experience with his wife, Harriet, is that people with cancer and perhaps even with other serious illnesses tend to isolate themselves and that as we moved on from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, there was more research about the adverse effects of isolating when one is very stressed or anxious. And I'm sure Bill can speak much more to this than I can. But so one of our taglines is so that no one faces cancer alone. So here we have these services. They're free of charge, completely free of charge, and always have been. And we hate it when somebody comes to us and says, I wish I'd known about you a few years ago when I first was diagnosed, or when I was going through this. And, it just, we're not, We don't have a huge marketing budget. So much of what we do is put back into our program, and getting the word out is so important. And also what Bill was saying, that we want people to know in the Coachella Valley and Palm Springs area that these services are uh, uh, they might not be exactly what you think they are. They might not be scary, or they might, just because you're not a group person. We just really want to be of service and make sure that people are not isolating themselves. And we have this great tool now, Zoom, where people don't have to isolate themselves. We can all jump on Zoom and find that connection with each other. And so we really felt it was very important to reach out to Coachella Valley in the Palm Springs area. And thanks to you, Liliana, we're still learning about what is needed out there for different populations, for the Spanish-speaking population, and the different populations that you were talking about, LGBTQ plus, and um, we have so much for different populations. And we just want to make sure that people know that we're here if they need us.
And Julia, I want to add to that
Yeah.
as you said, everything we have offered ever since the beginning is completely free. And people are often very skeptical about that, about what is it you're going to try to sell me? And there is nothing, and that's one of the greatest things about our whole team of facilitators is we are only here because we want to help people. There is no motivation to buy or sell anything.
Well,
Absolutely.
Dr.
Thank you.
Benjamin. Oh, I'm so sorry, Liliana.
No, I was going to say to Bill, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, of course, that's an important point to make because most people do expect that there is some type of a fee, whether it's for like one of our classes or one of the groups, but there is no fee at all for any of our services.
Yeah.
Were you going to mention something else?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was just going to say, you're right, Bill. Sometimes when I describe our services to somebody, I think that I've made it clear that it's free of charge, but sometimes I'll get a question. So you have a sliding scale. What is your sliding scale? I'm like, no, there's no sliding scale. Everything is free of charge. And you're right. You have to keep saying that because it is hard to believe. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So for me, I think it was super important that cancer support community did branch out to the Coachella Valley because I'm a very proud native of the Coachella Valley, born and raised out here. And I see the need for these types of services. And I see how many different types of groups we have out here because although we're a small community, we're a very diverse community as well, which is something that makes us so special. And then something that Julia mentioned about isolation. I think that in the Coachella Valley, we kind of like the isolation, at least as far as we're not in the big city, right? But we're close enough to where if we want a little getaway, it's like everything is 2 hours away. Um, but when it comes to being impacted by cancer in some way, you definitely don't want isolation there. You want to find community, and it can be very difficult to find community in a smaller community like the Coachella Valley, or if you're part of a certain group and you want to find other like-minded folks that you can connect with who are going through a similar journey. So cancer support community is here for you, and we have a wide range of support groups that you can join and find something that fits your needs and you're getting yourself taken care of and you're not isolating yourself in that sense. So it's definitely something special that we have cancer support community out here. So please take advantage, learn more, reach out to us. But at this time, I would like to pass it along to Kristen to kind of give us a little bit more on the CV Giving Day and what that means for us today.
Yes, thanks, Liliana. And apologies if my video goes in and out. I've been having Zoom issues. But today is the Coachella Valley Giving Day. This is our first year since we've recently expanded to Coachella Valley participating in this Giving Day. You might have heard about it. There's over 100 nonprofits in the region that participate in it. So today is the day. It's kind of like Giving Tuesday, but just for the local geography. And so nonprofits are, on the news, and they're doing events, and they're fundraising and blasting things on social media. And so we're joining in the fun today. And so this is part of it, as Liliana said, trying to get the word out about what we do and who we are. And I would invite anybody who's on this call, if you have ideas of other folks we should talk to, other partners, other nonprofits, if there are radio stations or newspapers or places that we can get the word out about what we're doing, we would love any and all ideas. So please share. But for the Giving Day itself, Liliana mentioned that we do have social media specific to our entity there. So please follow us and share the posts that you'll be seeing today. And then the giving part of the Giving Day is that it is a day that is sponsored by different foundations in the region. And so we do have a fundraising page, which I'll pop in the chat. We're trying to get to at least 10 donations today, which supports our growth in the community. So all funds raised will directly support everything that was just mentioned, the support groups and yoga classes and everything that's happening in Coachella Valley. So we're fundraising for the support of the organization. But what it also does is gets us to be eligible for giving from the foundations. So if we can get at least 10 donations, that will set us up to be eligible for bigger gifts from the foundations. They're picking over 20 different nonprofits to get gifts from $1,000 to $5,000 in the region. So if you're willing to make a donation, that would be great. Or if you're able to share, as I said, with friends or family or other folks in the community that want to see us grow and expand in the region, that would be great. So thank you.
Thanks, Kristen. Yes. So please, if you can give, great. And for sure, please, spread the word. Let folks know that we're out here. That's super important. We want to grow. We're a small community, but we're small but mighty, definitely. So please pass along any information that you can regarding cancer support community. As Kristen mentioned, if you know of any other organizations who would be great community partners, where we could bring something special to you, please let us know who they are. We'd love to talk to them a little bit further and see what types of collaborations we could do to bring some more amazing offerings to the Coachella Valley. If nobody has any other questions, I really just want to thank our speakers for sharing, and then of course our attendees. Thank you all for taking the time to learn more about cancer support community here in the Coachella Valley. I really do hope that you click on all of the wonderful links that Kelsey so wonderfully put into our chat, and know that you can reach out to me if you want further information. I'm your main point of contact out here in the Coachella Valley. I'm here year round for you, so please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon at one of our classes or groups or any of our offerings.